We have come here today because we are concerned about the direction of road safety in the Free State. We need to look honestly at what is happening on our roads and understand why the Free State is experiencing an increase in fatalities when the national trend is moving in the opposite direction. And importantly, agree on what government and society must do differently. Between 1 January 2026 and 26 July 2026, South Africa recorded 5,620 road fatalities compared to 6,130 during the corresponding period in 2025. This represents an 8% reduction nationally. The Free State, however, recorded 407 fatalities during the same period, compared with 351 in 2025. This represents an increase of 56 fatalities, or 16%. The provincial target, respectfully, was 316, meaning that the province is currently 91 fatalities above its target. Let me see, last time I was here, I drove down from Pretoria, amongst others, to look at projects and see what's happening. And what I found is we need to put a handle on the trucks as a priority. So cross-border, RTMC, I think let us put a handle. Some of the things I saw are just strange. And then communication, public education is key. The heightened use of cell phones behind the steering wheel is just alarming.
I remember in our last engagement, Deputy Minister, you made a practical example, and that stuck with me in terms of how much money government is spending. From when a female becomes pregnant, we engage in government services, to giving birth, government is paying for that. We invest in NSFAS, we invest in an RDP. And then when that person also now becomes involved in an accident, also it shakes the coffers of government in itself. So when we say we must prevent, it simply says, we know when Raf will take the podium later on, the first thing they will say is there will never be enough money to fund all the accidents. It's simply saying there must be a preventative strategy in place.
We are now licensing about 30 companies that are transiting between Cape Town and the rest of the country. It means those buses come through the Free State on a daily basis. And of course, this is one of the challenges that we're dealing with as a country. And there's an increase in those numbers on a daily basis. Those that are registered in South Africa, yes, you have no problems. You can check, you can test. But those that are coming from outside the country, it means we need an additional effort to be able to determine whether they are safe, whether they are roadworthy or not.
Bus is not a goods vehicle. You will find that the buses from foreign countries have got this huge trailer with a container. It's not a normal size like this interstate and others, Intercape and others with a small trailer. That trailer, if a bus has to stop, it pushes it. It's really unfortunate that it is fully loaded and the bus is also fully loaded, and now that is the road, the load that it has to carry.
As the SAPS in the Free State, we are engaged in various platforms of road safety. If it is RIMS, if it is general crime prevention on the roads, my provincial commissioner is committed to road safety, and we are there.
Pedestrian fatalities, it's problematic. Major crashes are problematic. Weekends, problematic. Nights are problematic. Head-on collisions, as we said, and single vehicle overturns.
The issue of visibility comes out quite very clear. And I think in that regard, the point made is that we need to deal with the absence of presence. So the message is that presence is one of the key issues that is quite strongly articulated. That's the first point I want to make. The second point is that There seem to be also issues around infrastructure that we need to look into quite seriously to redetermine the corridors that are quite critical in our planning and our approach in how we do infrastructure, especially roads construction.
We are expecting that the cross-border road agency, amongst others, is to redefine the regulations to compel long-distance buses to have more than one driver, because driver fatigue is a major contributor to what is happening here in the province. So the issuance of permits will now, amongst others, make it mandatory that there is a secondary driver. And even if there are more drivers, the better. And secondly, is that we will be revoking permits of operators who travel on routes which have not been approved or determined within the permit. Because what we are seeing is a lot of decanting onto secondary roads to avoid traffic law enforcement, because part of the planning that we do for visibility is on the basis of what we expect to receive, and now they are using secondary routes. So I've asked the cross-border, amongst others, to say we must invoke the revocation of permits of non-compliant operators.